and you made it. Time for accuracy. So accuracy is probably one of the more important elements because you don't want to be reading stuff that's false. So how do you know what you're reading is accurate? Well, there are 6 main things that we can do to help figure that out, and we're going to go through them together. So the first way you can figure out if something is accurate is trying to figure out if other places have the same information about the topic. So does this source align with other sources that discuss this topic? So let's take a look what that means. One example in current events right now is relating to coronavirus. Boris Johnson was moved into the intensive care units, according to the New York Times. So if I click on this article over here, I want to check the accuracy of this. So it's claiming that he, who is a member of the royal family in the UK, was moved to an intensive care unit. So in order to figure out if that's true, we want to check other sources to see if that is also what they're claiming. So I'm going to check Boris Johnson and just see what pops up about him online. So I have over here BBC, which is the, if you don't know, British Broadcasting Company. We have over here CNN. We have over here Telegraph. Many different sites are reporting the same information. Now that doesn't mean they're all accurate, but the more things that you see claiming the same message, the more you're going to be able to believe that what you're reading is more accurate. Another example of that has to do with peer-reviewed articles. So number 3 over here is, has the source gone through peer review? What the heck is peer review? Great question, class. So if you were to Google peer-reviewed article 3D printing in coronavirus, and you were to just click on one of these links over here, this link on the New Yorker may or may not be peer-reviewed, but let's find out. So the author over here is Sue Halpern. We could go and Google her and look into her to find out about her as an authority. She is a writer over here, and we could dig into that. But really what I care about right now is the article itself, and I'm trying to see if more than one person was involved in writing this. So if we take a look over here, she's the only author being claimed as of right now. And you go through the article, and go all the way down to the bottom, and it doesn't mention anyone else. This is not peer-reviewed, it's just one person reporting a story. If you were to go back to this search engine over here, most of these websites, especially .coms, are going to simply be one person reporting their story. So if you really wanted to make sure that it was something that a lot of people, especially experts and good authorities, have written, you want to find something that's peer-reviewed. So a peer-reviewed article, a really cool tool to find this is Google Scholar. So you can either type Google Scholar, which will only find educational articles. So if I were to type over here coronavirus into Google Scholar, these are articles that are only going to be peer-reviewed. What it means is that more than one person has, as an expert, looked at it. So if I look at the first journal over here, the way that you know that this is going to be peer-reviewed, by the way, I don't think this is something that you guys should use, because you may not understand what some of it's saying in terms of the language. It might be too scientific. But you know it's going to be more reliable because it was published in a journal. And when something's published in a journal, that means that it had to have at least 2 experts look at it in order to get it reviewed. And everything on Google Scholar is peer-reviewed. In this article, we have these 2 as the authors who peer-reviewed this article. And if I go back to the other page, all of these articles are going to be peer-reviewed by multiple authors. This person, this person, this person. So consider peer review when you are looking at it, but don't think too much about it if you don't understand it. You can manually check to see if other sources, like we did before, agree. Another important part in finding out if it's accurate is look at the sources that they're using. So if we go back to the article that we were looking at earlier on 3D printing, I don't know if Sue over here, yes, okay, so let's take a look at Sue. So we have over here a couple of hyperlinks within the article, and we want to check out to see if who she's linking is reputable. So according to a survey by the U.S. Conference of Mayors on Friday, so let's see what this survey is. So this is a .org organization on U.S. mayors. So this probably is reliable of what she's sourcing and writing about. Then it says the UCF Health Hospital System in San Francisco. So she's linking over here to a New York Times article, and that could or could not be reputable, but let's take a look at who is the author. So the author here is Katie Thomas, and Katie Thomas is a reporter for the New York Times, and to me, all that means is that she's telling a story. So I don't know how accurate her reference is because she is a reporter telling a story, but that's part of the article. I would say that overall, this person is not citing only educational sources, which means that it could be true or it could not be true. When you're looking for information, the best thing that you can find is going to be educational documents or governmental organizations because you know that those are peer-reviewed and their accuracy is going to be much higher. So the final word that I have on this is when you're looking at an article, you have to keep in mind, you are the one looking to figure out the accuracy at some level. If you find words in the article that are misspelled, or you find links and those links are to dead sites, or if you take a look at the article that you're reading and you notice that the last update was really a long time ago and it doesn't seem like the information's still valid, go find another site. You have so many choices out there when doing research on a number of topics. Whenever you have a little red flag in your head going off, find another site. Look for sites that are edu, .gov. Try and find information from authors who are highly reputable. And question everything that you read. Don't just read something and accept it as facts. There's no such thing as an unbiased author. Everyone who ever writes you something has a purpose for writing it, and we're going to get into that in the next video. So that's it on accuracy. Go summarize what you learned.